Guess what? We need to talk about foldable phones again. Okay, so it's July 2026, and already this year feels like the year of the foldable. And the reason for that, weirdly, is because at this point of filming, this time right now, the bigger news about foldables is yet to come. I think you know what I'm referring to. We have Samsung, who knows what they're going to do this year, but they are going to do something different this year. And then we have Apple, who have been rumoured to be making their own take on a foldable phone for quite a while now, and it might be this year that we finally see it. So those two things sound like the real news this year, which isn't fair because Honor have just launched the Magic V6, and even though, let's not beat around the bush, it looks identical to the V5. That's the V5, that's the V6. The only difference really on the face of it is the colour. And there aren't that many differences between these two phones, regardless. We are still getting, regardless of those rumours about what's coming, some incredible foldable phones. And the V6 is superb. This will not be a long review at all. One, because I won't keep going on about, I promise I won't keep going on about this, but I have been in hospital and I'm recovering. So my review period of the V6 has been slightly shrunk in terms of what I could do with it. But that doesn't matter. I've been around for quite a while. I've done lots of these reviews, and I can review foldable phones with my eye. Can I do them with my eyes closed? What am I talking about? Still getting back into this. Right, guys, let's get into the V6. This could be a very interesting video. Incidentally, I have had a few requests from people saying, where's your V6 review? Why is it so late, etc. The reason it's late is because we get the embargo review timing for the V6 and most Honor phones after they've been launched elsewhere. So that's the reason. Okay, on to that design, because it is very nice. It isn't very different to the V5 at all. I'm also not a fan of the red colour. It's not, for me personally, it's just not my thing really. It's got this very attractive kind of, what do you call it, textured finish here. But for me personally, I would go for one of the other colours, but you might like that. Let me know in the comments. It's incredibly thin, so open like that. It's 4mm. Folded, it's 8.75 millimeters. It weighs 219 grams, which is less than the iPhone 17 Pro Max, which weighs 231 grams. That's interesting. I mean, I haven't got my Pro Max here, it's at home at the moment, but it does compare very nicely to flagship normal phones. So if I put it up against a Samsung flagship, it's about the same thickness. Yet with this, you can go, that's pretty awesome. Also, when you open it, it is completely flat, totally flat. There's no slight V shape or anything at all, which is lovely. The crease, let's talk about that. So I just angle that towards the light. You can see the crease. You can feel it as well. It's not as well hidden as the Oppo Find N6. That's the best on the market in terms of not having a crease. If the crease thing really bothers you, get the N6 if you can in your country. If you're not that fussed, it doesn't matter. It's still much better than it was previously, although the not the N5, the V5, in fact, it feels the same. Maybe, no, in fact, the V6 is slightly better. It doesn't matter. The crease thing, for me, has never been a problem. It's part and parcel of having a foldable phone. The external display is very good. I'm a bit of a bore about this. I know that's the case, but for me, the design of the external display is crucial to the foldable experience, because if it's too wide, it's almost too usable, which means you don't do that as often. And if it's too narrow, it's almost unusable, which means you're always doing that. So there's a balance that the manufacturer has to strike here based on how tall the phone is. This is still a regular phone shaped phone when it's closed, which means it needs to strike that balance with the outer display, and it does it really well. It feels very satisfying to hold like this and type away. And then if you want to get into the big screen, you can. The camera island is marginally smaller than the V5. You can see there, V5, V6, it's slightly smaller. Does that make a difference? I don't know, although it is still centered, and that means you can put it on the table like that and it doesn't really wobble. Happy days. Right, let's get onto the camera. Today's sponsor has got me thinking about something that I've never really considered before about VPNs. When you use a regular one, you're not really hiding your activity, you're just moving who can see it. Your VPN provider can see both who you are and what sites you're visiting. You're trusting them not to do anything with that information, but the data can be leaked or requested. Obscura VPN is built differently, and I've been using it for the last few weeks. It physically cannot link your identity to your internet activity. Even if someone asked Obscura for your data, there's nothing there to hand over thanks to their unique two-party design. Its stealth protocol works in places where other VPNs get blocked. You can block trackers and malware, and the whole thing is open source. So if you're the sort of person who can check that for yourself, you can. It's currently available on iPhone, Mac, and Android. Best of all, to sign up, you don't even need an email address. Just click that link below for 25% off, or go to obscura.com/Mark and use code MARK at checkout, and you can get started right away. Obscura is my VPN of choice now. Now, cameras on foldable phones are sometimes leave a little bit to be desired because they're not the main focus of the phone, and also there's not much room to play with. When it's open, remember it's only like 4mm thin or thick or whatever, so you don't have much space when it comes to getting a big sensor in there, which means you either have a massive camera bump or you make some compromises. The good news is Honor hasn't really made too many compromises. So in terms of specs, it has a 50 megapixel ultra light sensitive main camera. It has a 64 megapixel ultra sensing periscope telephoto, which does a 3x optical zoom, and a 50 megapixel ultra wide camera. They are great cameras. I've not done a huge amount of photography with them, but I did a lot of photography with the V5, and it doesn't feel massively different to the V5 in that respect. It is a bit better at capturing fast-moving subjects like my dog and my child, but it's still a very, very good camera for a foldable phone. And the zoom range, for instance, if I go into the camera now, I get 2, 3, and 6. 3 is the optical length, 6 is obviously into digital zoom. It does go right up to 100x, but as I always say, I don't know who uses those focal lengths because they are fairly unusable in most situations. The only thing I have noticed is that the shutter is sometimes a little bit slow. When I was doing some test shots yesterday in the studio, when you go beyond sort of 3 and 6, there's a bit of a delay. Not all the time, but occasionally a bit of a delay in low light. But yeah, the camera, again, if you're looking at foldables and you're thinking, I'm willing to make some compromises, but I don't want to make too many compromises, I think Honor and Oppo, and in my humble opinion, Samsung with the what was the last one? The Fold 7. I think they all do a very good job. They really do. I think the Fold 7 does lose out a bit with the zooming on that isn't as good as the Honor or the Oppo, but we are in a position now where most of these foldables are really good. So I wouldn't worry too much about the camera. I do like Honor photography. Another common concern about foldables is the battery, which is completely fair as a concern because, again, it's very thin, and what kind of battery can you fit into that? Well, Honor has fitted a 6,660 milliamp hour battery, which has 25% silicon content. 25% silicon content is above the 16% industry average, which means this phone has more silicon stuff in it in terms of the battery than most phones that have silicon kryptonite batteries, which is impressive. It means it's, in theory, going to last longer, it's going to be safer, it's not going to get as hot, etc., etc. That's a very, very simple way of putting it, but that's where we are. We've got to this point where you have these huge batteries in these foldable phones. It does 80 watt supercharging wired and 66 watt wireless supercharging. I mean, what more do you want from a battery? And my experience with it has been, again, bonkers when it comes to battery. You can get well into 2 days with it with general use. I have been using this as my main phone, so it's got a SIM card in here, I've got all my apps on there, I've got everything going on this phone that I'd have on my regular phone, and it just goes on, and the standby time is frankly funny. It's just ridiculously good. So camera, really good. Battery, really good. The design, although I don't like the red colour, really good. What's next? Where do we go from here? Oh yeah, software and something really interesting. This is running Magic OS 10, which is Honor's operating system. It's based on Android, obviously. It also comes with Gemini, and it comes with 3 months of Google AI Pro free, which is very, very generous and a lovely thing. I'm not a power user with anything these days because I'm a 45-year-old dad and I don't have, even though I'm a tech reviewer, I don't push my smartphones to the limit. And also, I'm not that fussed about consumer-facing AI stuff unless it has a genuine benefit. Magic OS X has all of that stuff. It's got loads of AI things built into it. It's got very good multitasking as well. It's definitely worth mentioning that you know, the split screen stuff, the ability to have floating windows and resize them and move them around. It's very fast. It's great. It's just fantastic. But the AI side of things, I can't get excited about. It's nice that it's there, and they've got to do this. You know, every other brand is doing this. Every other smartphone manufacturer does AI stuff, and whether you like it or not, or use it or not, it doesn't really matter, because if you don't use it, it doesn't get in the way, and if you do use it, it's there. So you're covered on this. And the nice thing is, Magic OS X is very easy to get. It's just easy to get around. It's not complicated. It's not full of bloatware. There's a few things that you want to uninstall, a few apps and things they put on here which you probably won't want, but it's a nice version of Android. It really is. The interesting thing is the Apple integration. So Honor is saying that with the Magic V6, it's got two-way notification sync with the iPhone and the iPad via the Honor Connect app. So you have to have the Honor Connect app installed on your Mac or your iPhone or your iPad to do that. Apple Watch can display messages and notifications from both devices, and it's got file transfer with iOS via QuickShare, which is rapidly becoming something that's very common within Android land. So basically, you can now use QuickShare to tap into AirDrop. So I could send stuff from this to my Mac with AirDrop. It's very convenient. That's the only thing that I'm excited about with all that. I think the rest of it, as clever as it possibly is. One, if you've got an Apple Watch, 99 times out of 100, you're going to be the person who has you'll have an iPhone, basically. And for that reason, I didn't test it, partly because I didn't have the time to test it because of where I've been for the last week or so. The other problem with it, though, is that what if it disappears overnight? What if Apple just kind of pulls a plug somewhere in Cupertino and that stops working? I don't think you can rely on that at all. I think the AirDrop thing is great. I think I really hope that sticks around, because I do use it. I do transfer things from Android devices mainly to my Mac, and it has made the world of difference. So that's fantastic. The other thing that I haven't mentioned is performance. This runs the latest Snapdragon, whatever it's called, and it doesn't matter because it's fantastically quick and fast, and there's just nothing to talk about there. Really. It's just a very good thing. Let's get on to some kind of verdict. The thing that I haven't talked about yet is the pricing. So this is still about £2,000 in the UK. If you buy it now, early on, you do get a discount. I think they're offering about a £500 discount for very early buyers. That may not be around by the time that you watch this, so don't shoot the messenger. But yeah, it's still a very expensive foldable phone, and there's lots of competition. We have the Find N6, we have whatever's coming from Samsung in the next few weeks. We may have something from Apple later this year, and because of that, it's a great time to be a foldable buyer, I think. Timing-wise, this is where I think you're going to fall into one of two camps. If you didn't buy the V5, if it just wasn't your time to upgrade, but you like the look of it, this is definitely the one to get. If you've now reached that 2-year change period, get the V6. You've waited long enough. You're going to love this phone. It's fantastic. If you're on the fence, but you do want, you're very interested in foldables, the timing of this means that it's not an obvious purchase, because give it a few weeks and then we'll know what Samsung is doing. Give it a few months, 2 or 3 months, and we'll know what Apple is or isn't doing. I think the important thing there, the really important thing, is that Samsung and Apple apparently, and this is all based on rumour, are doing something different in terms of the form factor. And that's incredibly interesting. I made a video about this a little while ago, which we'll link to at the end of this video, about the iPhone Ultra, as it's apparently going to be called. Again, all based on rumours. Have a watch of that. And equally, guys, you have to subscribe, says the YouTuber, because I'm reviewing everything that comes out this year. All of these foldables and all the alternatives are going to be on this channel. First-hand access very early on, and I'd love you to be there for it, basically. Guys, get involved in the comments. Are you going to buy the V6? Are you not going to buy it? Are you waiting for something else? What do you think about foldables in general? Get involved. I will as well. And remember, hit that subscribe button. See you down there.